Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Digital Access Librarian, and today we'll be looking at online privacy. Now if you caught last week's video, I was talking about passwords. Passwords are like the windows of your house. They protect your house and keep it secure and stop people breaking in. Privacy, on the other hand, that's like the curtains on the windows. You can open and close them to control who can see in. Now, a lot of us are online a lot of the time. We're clicking, tapping, typing, swiping, and everything that we do says a little bit about us, about our likes and dislikes, our behaviour, and who we know. And that information is gold to companies like Google and Facebook. Sometimes it can be used to help us, like authorities might use it, for example, but a lot of the time we just don't know who is using it and how they're using it. One of the barriers when we start to think about privacy is convenience, because sometimes it can be convenient to get targeted ads or to not read terms of service. Let's take a look at terms of service, for example. Now, this graphic shows you how long it would take to read some of the most heavily used terms of service. So, still scrolling, coming up to the half-hour mark. Still going. And down the bottom we've got Microsoft, which is nearly the equivalent of Macbeth. So we're not asking you to read every word of the terms of service document. Just think about privacy and its importance and follow some of these steps to manage your information. So what can you do? First of all, think about the accounts that you use the most. Find out where the settings are and how you can change the settings. Let's look at Google. This is my Gmail inbox. I can click on Manage Your Google Account. And then I can take their privacy checkup, which is a step-by-step guide, or I can have a look at the options in that left menu, like data and personalization. Now this one's actually really interesting. There's been some court cases where they've been able to pinpoint where a person was at a particular point in time. It's using the timeline feature. So you can actually see the data that Google has about you. So I've got my location services turned off, so this isn't available. But have a look there. You might be surprised about what you find. Now, another thing that you can do is to make sure you're using a secure browser. Now I'm using Firefox. And that's my favourite browser because its privacy is actually built into their company manifesto. I know they take it seriously. There's a lot of nice options in their preferences menu. So if I go across to privacy and security, that's where the good stuff is. And so I can choose the level of privacy management. I can send websites a do not track signal, and that's voluntary, but it's a good idea. And further down, I can change permissions and so on. Another thing that I can do, regardless of the browser I'm using, is add on extensions. So if I go up to the menu and click on add-ons, so on the screen here, we have a bit of a starter pack of recommended extensions that will help manage your privacy by changing the way you interact with websites, for example, or blocking ads and trackers. Now, just a note on extensions. So they're little pieces of software that you can install in your browser to give it increased functionality. You might want to, for example, change your cursor into a slice of pizza, and yes, there's an extension for that, but no, it's probably not a good idea to install that one. Now, there are some websites out there that can really help with getting your privacy in order. If this all seems a little bit overwhelming, one good website is the datadetoxkit.org. So you can explore some of the options here and follow the step-by-step guides. Another good website is the Privacy Awareness Week website. Now this was held earlier this month, but if I go to the site now, I can still explore some of their tips for rebooting and privacy. I can just hover over these and see which is relevant. So follow those steps and tune in next week for more tech tips. Thank you.